It's hard to build a uniquely loyal organization when you keep promoting managers who can never become mentors. I'll tell you a little bit more in just a second. Hi, I'm Jeff C. West. One of the key points that turns an average organization into an extremely loyal team where everyone is thriving and numbers are being met tends to be when the leaders are able to create an organization based on fusion points. That positive emotional connection with logic about what you're trying to do at the time, and that transmits throughout the entire organization, especially with your leadership team. And you can never achieve a Fusion Points organization unless you develop the ability to turn managers into mentors. And oddly enough, that's not the easiest thing to do. You have to be intentional. I've seen a lot of great salespeople get promoted into management and be terrible managers. Terrible leaders of their team. And the reason was pretty simple. It reminds me of some of my college professors. I have a music background, and some of the absolute best players that I've ever heard in my life weren't necessarily the best teachers. And yet some of those who weren't necessarily the greatest player, they were indeed great teachers. And the reason's pretty simple. Those that had that natural talent, that gift to play their instrument well, they didn't have to learn. They didn't have to go through the same struggles as someone who really wasn't as talented. And for that reason, they weren't necessarily great teachers. They'd never really gone through that learning process that much themselves. The same thing goes into a sales organization. I've seen organizations take their top salespeople and promote them into sales leadership roles, sales managers. And I've seen some of those that it worked pretty well, but I've seen a lot that it was a total bomb. The sales professional became unhappy, and the team they were working with didn't really care for working with them. So you have to be able to coach them up about becoming a mentor instead of just a manager. One of the greatest culture killers you can ever have in an organization was best described by Dr. Stephen M.R. Covey in his book, Trust and Inspire. And his point was that if your leadership style is a command and control type operation where you're telling everyone what to do, you're giving no flexibility for them to be able to go out and create their own solutions, you're going to hurt your organization. Today's workforce doesn't respond well to that. Instead, he recommends a trust and inspire type of leadership style where you equip people, you give them the reins, you let them grow. And the truth is, in any organization, especially a sales operation, if you grow your people, they'll grow the business. If you grow your people, if you develop their leadership skills, if you develop their sales skills, if you develop your people to achieve everything that they want to achieve for their life, if you grow your people, they will grow the business. And so that's key. So how do you do that? Well, number one, invest in your people. I remember January of 2000, a great mentor of mine gave me 2 books that totally changed my career. He probably spent $40 or $50 on those books. One was Dr. John C. Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and the other was Endless Referrals by my co-author on Streetwise to Saleswise, Bob Berg. Those 2 books literally changed the direction of my career. I went from being an average district manager with a Fortune 500 insurance company to a state sales coordinator in 4 years. That was unheard of at the time. And it gave me the ability to grow like crazy because I applied the lessons that I learned in both of those books. So invest in your people. Get the books that you think will help them grow. Do events with them. Do team building events where they get to bond with each other as well as grow their skill set. The second thing you can do to grow your people is stop giving them solutions. Instead, give them opportunities to think and expand with you, but do it in such a way that they're involved in developing the solution rather than you just dictating it. If you are constantly telling your team how to do the A, B, C, D, and E down the line, what you're going to find is instead of it becoming a strong, independent, cohesive team, it becomes a team that's dependent on you, and they never really develop their skill sets. And the third thing I will tell you is your legacy in leadership is the leaders you develop. The more people that, because of your mentorship, become very successful with your company, or even if they go on to others, but that you can trace that success back to your relationship with them. Anyway, that's enough for me today. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.